Alright, chat. Alchemy's rebalanced. Standard got some bans. We're going to be playing a bunch of Magic Arena's non-rotating formats to get a feel for them. And we're going to be playing a lot of hopefully no longer mediocre mid-range decks. This is a viewer-submitted Abzan deck. I'm going to be honest, I didn't pre-check the mana base here, so I'm going to do this and include it in the deck video because people like to see me fiddle with these things sometimes. So at a glance, the one thing that jumps out at me is we're trying to play a white 3-drop, and I currently have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 white sources, which is not reasonable. Do I need basic lands for some reason? Is there something I'm missing at a glance that means I need basic lands? Some number for Field of Ruin seems fine. So that gets me to 14 white, easy peasy. Yeah, we have treasures, but like I don't really want to be using my treasures on a 3-drop, right? It could also just be right to not have this card be in our deck. I think I want more white sources regardless. This might just be a cut Cathar angle. It's like okay at going wide. Having more skull ports to get to these seems good. Let's start there, I think, actually. How many green manas do we have? This is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 green. Probably want one less black and one more green. This is Alchemy, chat. We have Ishkanah. Oh, there's no Crossroads. That card's cracked in 2-color decks. It should definitely be in our 3-color deck. That's what we're missing. Suddenly the mana base just gets very easy and works perfectly. I love it. This card's the other sign that you're in Alchemy. You could look for the Alchemy specific spells, but Crossroads is the card that it's like, oh wait, this is an Alchemy deck. It's 26, 28 lands. Honestly, that might be a fine place to start. The Usher of the Fallen plan out of the sideboard is cute. I like this. We get to attack, just like attack more against controlling decks. I don't know that we have enough removal in the sideboard. I don't really like Maul as a sideboard card. I want a couple of power word kills in here for werewolves and vampires and of the such. Alright, let's do it. So Abzan mid-range stuff. One really cute synergy I want to point out here is that curving Ishkanah into Lolth is really good because Ishkanah makes Lolth spiders 3/3, so you get to like -3 this and put 6 menace power into play, which seems really strong. So let's go ahead and pop it into some matches with this to start and see how things feel. Ranked, best of 3, Alchemy, Abzan mid-range. The stream title has been updated to read Bad Mid-Range Decks and Rotating Formats, which should remain true for the duration of the stream today. That hand's great. Has 3 lands. It has all of our colors. Hey, thanks for the support, Crazy Duck. Appreciate it. And we're on the draw, which means I can play this tapped on 1, this untapped as green on 2, and then this on 3. Or this on 2. So green, untap this Storko. I have a couple donation submissions for today, so we're going to be playing with Adventures tomorrow. That would definitely qualify as another bad mid-range deck. Huh? We just lead on Merchant. Okay. If they have another Vanishing Verse, I'm pretty sad with this play. What's going on, Graph? Thanks for the 7 months. Oh, Vanishing Verse can't hit Edgar. Yeah, good shout. I was testing you, chat. You passed. Good job. We're kind of super far behind due to lack of lands. Yes, we're playing 28 lands. We kept a 3-lander on the draw, and we have missed. Gosh, this card's actually just impossible to block, huh? When it's attacking, you just like have to jump block it. I'm gonna block here and just start pumping out tokens. Is Control still the top deck in Alchemy after the changes? Well, you see, the balance changes have been live for approximately 6 minutes. So I'm gonna give you almost twice that long in a timeout to think about you asking me if I know what's ideal. I don't have an answer for you for what's best in the current format, and anybody that does is probably someone you should turn off of your TV because they don't have opinions worth listening to. Chat, it takes time to figure things out. Take a deep breath, enjoy the exploration. I think we're pretty dead here. Valorous Stance does not seem very good here. Power Word Kill seems good. Kaya's really not great against their opposing black creature lands. She could be good to keep in as just a mid-range threat, though. Meathook seems good as a catch-up card. Maybe Rite of Oblivion's fine here. I'll trim a couple of skull ports. I'm going down on 5, so you need less acceleration. What's going on, Darth? Appreciate the third of a year. We're not going to 5. Black mana scribe. Okay, let's draw lands for the next couple of turns. This is a really weird card to play. I thought this card was banned, chat. Somebody on Twitter assured me that a card getting nerfed was the same as it getting banned. So are they allowed to play this? I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Thanks for the follow, Gunder. Hackers, yeah. Hackers, cold crackers, slackers, wasting time with all the chat room yackers. Someone who works for HP, I love that song. Listen, believe it or not, chat, you probably could tell this from looking at me, but I grew up listening to a lot of Weird Al Yankovic. Is this card unbeatable? It feels kind of unbeatable. I am confirmed white and nerdy.
I will cull the weak.
I mean, they're generating value every time they attack, too. I mean, I boarded in Rites of Oblivion over the Valorous Stances, so, like, I also boarded in Power Word kills, which are all better choices than trying to Valorous Stance a blocker, chat. Take a chump block here.
Subservience will be a reward. Good.
I mean, this card's always been good, chat. I think we leave this back to chill. This back to chill as a larger blocker. Keep everything +1/+1. See what dungeon they want to start down. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see Tomb of Annihilation here. It could be right to Hagra Mauling proactively. But I also what does this attack mean? how greedy is it to only block one of these and then murder the Nadar?
My power is for annihilation.
Is it pretty greedy, chat, or just the right amount of greedy? Are they dead? They're dead, right?
I'm sure you'll miss me. Aren't I the generous one?
Let the greed flow through you, chat. Let the greed flow through you. Was it close race? It could be that we want to play some Rite of Oblivions in our main. Card's pretty cracked. I think on the draw, I'm gonna put 2 stance in and cut these skull ports. Oblivion. Put this on black. Maybe famous last words. I'm gonna bottom this here. Oh yeah, I guess I wanted this on green so I could play this untapped, then this could be on black instead of green. Yeah, you're right, Beetle. With these in hand, I should have played this on green, so this could be black on 2. I'd have the same colors in play. Good shout. As a former fellow Hex player, have you tried Gods Unchained? Let me say something very clearly so my position on these things can never be misinterpreted. Game developers that are tying blockchain and NFTs into their video games can fuck off into the sun. They are the worst, shittiest type of human beings possible. I guess we're disputing sacrificing the treasure? I supposed to chump block with this, actually. Yeah, I think I should have chump blocked this. At least Meathook will be good next turn. We're on the draw this game, right? So this could be untapped. Think I want to hold on to the treasure. Yeah, they should be +1 life, and we should be +3 life if I played this better. Hopefully it's not gonna matter. We have Meathook into Lolth here. Selling stars in the 90s is a good comparison for NFTs for sure. Alright, I'm gonna spend these treasures. Just want to get this into play so we can gain some life off of our spider friends here.
Aren't I generous?
They have second removal spell here. We could be in trouble. Yeah, I'm not supposed to sack the land because I have 2 6-drops.
I always reward the loyal.
He's gained me a little bit of life with the Innkeeper, which is great. Oh, damn, that's exactly lethal, huh? Oh, it's 1 over lethal? Remember that 3 life I missed gaining earlier with that block chat? Cost us the game here. Hey, Captain Cretan, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. That was a sweet match. Yeah, ultimately having a match decided by the fact that I made a bad sequence with combat choices. Magic is a game that's really at its best when its combat system matters. Logan! Welcome as Hoaglandia's 59th shillionaire. You can really see the trickle-down economy here in action. Thanks to Logan's hard work, chat, it is now so much easier for the rest of you at home to succeed. And the next shillionaire will now only need 999, 941 shillings. It's just so easy. Logan, you get a deck submission with your shillionaire. Make sure to tag me or ping me in the subs Discord as well to get you your role there. So you get access to Beverly Shills. It's where you want to be. Your deck submission, you're obviously welcome to use right away, but you can also save that for after Neo Kamigawa releases if you'd prefer. Open to whatever you would like to do. Just let me know. This hand needs some mana, but it has a Scryland, so we're gonna keep it. Yes. Yeah, we had double Innistrad sets, which probably is going to confuse people for a little bit, but we officially don't officially have blocks anymore. So we'll just be a single Kamigawa set. Nailed it. Never didn't have it. Please play something I can Vanishing Verse. That's not an Innkeeper. I don't want to verse an Innkeeper. Ranger's class. I accept your offering. I'm just gonna try and keep the board clear here so that way Lolth can come down on 5 and be relatively free and clear. Kazan, they do it. No, they can't. They need second green ever. For someone that isn't super plugged into regular video games, what does Horizon Went Gold mean? Can you explain it to me? Well, chat, the enchantment doesn't really do a whole lot if you just keep their board clear. They're pressing the discs. All right.
You reek with terror. Do what I demand.
So I actually own one PlayStation game on disc because the only PlayStation 5 I could get was a disc version. And the first thing the PlayStation does when you put the disc in is it copies the Blu-ray to the SSD. It's like, why is there even a disc? Why is there even a disc? Spooters? I want spooters. Spooters sound lovely. Let's get racing. What are the odds they have Ranger's Guile in their main deck, or whatever the hexproof thing is? Probably high. Just kill this now. My wife is like that, Veramis. Christy insists on buying physical. Oh, this is a reason to have more green mana. No, this is black for its activated ability. Never mind. Oh, wait. This thing exiling our graveyard is actually really good against Ishkanah. That's big sad. Christy loves having physical copies of all of our Switch games. Cyberpunk also went gold. Oh no. Oh, so gold is actually meaningless then. Okay. I hope Horizon is good on release. I really want to play it a bunch. We're gonna do all Horizon on February 19th when it releases. February 18th, 19th to open the day after. It just means it will come out. It doesn't say anything about the state of it. All right, that I believe. Oh my god, I forgot Ishkanah makes my spiders bigger. We're gonna lose this race by 2 points of damage. I'm a big dumb stupid. I lose this by. We're 2 points short next turn. I deserve it. Blizzard Brawl still cracked in half, turns out. okay. We're 4 points short. Feels pretty dead, man. Thanks for the follow, J-Pie. The developer has a good track record. Well, they don't really have a track record, right? Before Horizon came out, they made games like Horizon Zero Dawn was their first game of that genre, right? Like I'm not saying it's gonna be bad on release. I'm just challenging the idea that like they have a good track. Project Red explicitly did not have a good track record, right? Like Witcher had tons of issues. No, Witcher 3, go back, chat, you're remembering through rose-tinted glasses. Like Witcher 3 was received like marginally better than Cyberpunk was, but it was still like widely considered a disaster at release. Yeah, like it was like Glitcher 3 was the nickname of that at release. I didn't even play it at release till long after I remember it being called that. I hope Forbidden West is great at release. It's definitely the game I'm looking forward to releasing the most this year. Saying sweet. Nice, Beetle. It's a good game to get lost in, to be fair. The combat's incredibly satisfying. Horizon Call of the Mountain was teased a little bit, Logan. It's a PlayStation VR game in the same world. No blocks. Ishkanah just providing a nice thick booty here that they can't attack into is great. I'm just in for another giant spider. Large and in charge. One of the things that's kind of neat about Ishkanah is that you have to exile 2 things to draft with it, but the things you draft with it go to your discard pile because they're not tokens, they're conjured. Sack this to draw a card in case we draw a tapped land. I don't have anything to sack with that yet. We'll draft with Ishkanah end of turn here. Just don't have good attacks here. They could, like, throw a bunch of their stuff away to draw a single card. That doesn't seem very good for them. Twin Silks kinda cracked with Ishkanah, huh? Get wedding announcement going here before we Rite of Oblivion. I could, like, sacrifice one of my 2/4s, but we'll have 1/1s to sack next turn. So I really don't care for questions the way you phrased your question here, Kendall. You've said, is there value in making a play that's different than the play that you made? So, like, the answer you're looking for is for me to validate you and say, yes, there's value. And, like, very clearly there is value. My opinion on the matter, though, is very obviously it wasn't worth doing, because I valued keeping their board smaller, because I think my deck generates more value as the game goes along, so my initial goal is to just not die. So your statement is correct, but also you should be able to infer from the way that I played that I don't think that that's a worthwhile thing to be doing. For $50 American, I will play Venture as the next deck. Otherwise, I think we're just chilling. How aggressive do we want to be? If I write their 2/2, next turn they have 5, 6. This could be a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They draw a land. They could kill me if I attack with everything. Do I want to Rite of Oblivion something? I think I want to leave some blockers back, probably, right? I think I want to write, but I also want to leave some blockers in play. I'm gonna kill their fully leveled Ranger class to buy time here. You can do it via bits, but there is an upcharge to get bits. You can also donate using the Stream Elements link here directly using PayPal. Am I okay trading a 2/4 for a 2/2? Probably not, honestly. I'm just gonna attack with these two. Yeah, Rite of Oblivion's been really impressive. I probably want more of those in the 75 and some of them in the main deck. Especially with Wedding Announcement, it's really good. This deck probably just wants some meat hooks, honestly. Those are also good with Rite, and it's just a good magic card. Playing black midrange without that card's probably wrong. Ishkanah's been sweet, though. Dies, create a 1/2. It block. I haven't read most of these cards before, chat, so you have to give me a second. Thanks for the biddies, Beetle. Ah, capitalism. Thanks for the tip, Greg. It's very generous of you. Appreciate the support. We'll venture into some dungeons after this. Oh, Rufio, I missed it. Yes, gift subs would have been fine too. We already had someone queued up. Oh. Activated my trap card, opponent. Hey, game 3 on the draw. Morning, kids. Yeah, Ishkanah has been good. We're gonna make a couple of small changes. I think I want to move. Am I supposed to have Meathook in my deck here? These are in the board right now. I think I probably want them in the main. Let's start here. All right, let's do this. Yeah, and Ishkanah costing 4 lets it curve right into Lolth and make Lolth spiders bigger, which is huge. Someone mentioned Tezzeret. Can we just get like an Agent of Bolas reprint straight up? I would love me some Agent of Bolas, chat. It's one of the that's one of the top 2 planeswalkers I'd like to see added to Historic. Agent of Bolas and 4-mana Kaya, Conspiracy Kaya, are the 2 planeswalkers I'd most like to see. Alright, hopefully they play something we can stand, so not a Kazandu Mammoth. Raven, you can tell we're playing a mid-range deck, checks. We're having a little bit of a wrong half problem here. I'm not dead yet. Activated my trap card. Got him! We're probably still dead here. These things have drawn like 3 extra cards each. Yeah, we had like an ideal situation happen there, and we're still just like infinitely behind. The fact that we didn't do anything meaningful on turn 2 really kind of snowballed from a tempo perspective. My kingdom for Magic to have spell mana like Runeterra, so you don't just get tempoed out of the game when you don't have a turn 2 play. I block like this, I die. This thing gets trampled. All right, Meathook off the top. Let's get some Meathooks and some less awkward removal in here. To Leo, thanks for the follow. I mean, our opponent was on the play that game, but a big part of why we lost that was because our answers just didn't line up well. It's a lot of Valorous Stance. Not that I have enough creatures for Deadly Dispute here. And do something like this. Right is nice because it lets you sacrifice any permanents. Like you could sacrifice like Meathook Massacres and wedding announcements and stuff. It's not just creatures. Culling Ritual in here for the green deck. People in for white aggro. My land sequencing here is actually kind of hard. No, I guess this is... Well, I don't... One of these needs to be green. And I don't want a green land in the first 2 turns. I need black, white, black, white. So I think I have to lead on this. We're on the draw, so this can be untapped. I don't know, I kind of don't mind hitting this matchup again. They could also be werewolves, we'll see in a second, but if they're mono green, I don't mind hitting mono green again, because we just like made a bunch of changes to our deck that should make us a bit better here. Yeah, and it's not the same deck, they're werewolves. Which is actually low-key kind of terrifying, because I like have to Vanishing Verse this pup now so the Naturalist doesn't flip, which sucks. So 27 months, Eccles, welcome back. I am Groot. We just finished a Guardians of the Galaxy playthrough. It was a lot of fun. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the follow. When am I getting a Patreon? I have a Patreon. I just don't really promote my Patreon because I'd prefer people sub on Twitch or use a YouTube membership or donate directly. But there's some people who like my stuff that neither want to give Google nor Amazon a cut, so the Patreon exists. I believe in taking money from people through whatever means they wish to give you money. Good, I'm a good little capitalist. We Ishkanah, and then we can Meathook for 4 next turn. For 31 months, Sauzy, welcome back. What about piles of cash mailed to my house? You can send me piles of cash to my P.O. box right here. The cash could have COVID. We'll wait it out. I will accept piles of cash to the P.O. box. Just let me know if you're gonna mail piles of cash there because I don't check it very often. So if you send me something, make sure you say, Jeff, I sent you something, go check. Yeah, Town Razor is still cracked. I think we're just dead, chat. Chat, I think there's a chance that the mid-range deck we're currently playing isn't very good. Well, I wanted to Hagra Mauling this before I made a decision with my land. But now I can no longer do that. We're probably dead even if we get to kill that and sacrifice their land there, but rough. Stance sounds good. Extra sweepers sound good. Edgar seems kind of slow and bad. Is Culling Ritual good enough here? Doesn't seem like it. No tofu. Thanks for the follow. I like tofu, though. I actually don't eat that much tofu for being a vegetarian. It's not something that I've ever had good experience preparing myself. It's made by a professional. It's good. The wedding announcements work good in tandem with each other, so I'm going to keep both of those. I am pretty adamant that War Era Simic Ramp was not a mid-range deck because you just described it as a ramp deck. And things that are mid-rangey can play some ramp spells on occasion. But the kind of defining feature in my mind of is this a ramp deck or a mid-range deck is, what's the word I'm searching for? Is, are you, like, playing a bunch of really big go-over-the-top end? Like, things like Nissa and Hydroid Crisis. Hydroid Crisis especially. So, you can definitely argue that I'm splitting hairs here, but Adventures is closer to a mid-range deck, but I think I would call Adventures what I would refer to as an engine deck. And what an engine deck is, if you haven't referred to that, it has a couple of core cards that, like, when it gets online, it generates an incredible amount of value. And Clover and Innkeeper were the engine pieces in that archetype. Engine decks aren't something you hear talked about a lot in Magic these days. I've been running Doomscar over Stance. So, while I think you're correct that Doomscar is a fine Magic the Gathering card, your comparison of Doomscar and Valorous Stance doesn't really make sense because those cards don't fill the same role in a given deck list. Valorous Stance is a piece of spot removal and or protection, whereas Doomscar is a sweeper, and the roles that those cards serve in a given deck list are very different, even if they both ultimately destroy creatures. They do so in very different ways. The dragon is very good, and I am surprised. To the person that said dragon essentially didn't get nerfed, you are correct. I agree with that statement. The change they made to Townraiser Tyrant was a non-change. It will not have any meaningful impact on how this card plays out in games that it's involved in.
Children drench their hands in the blood of my enemies. I will get what I want.
No, there's no draft format for these cards. I'm gonna double block here in case they have like a +1/+1 spell. Technically get a little punished for the double block if they have like exactly a deal to, but that's pretty unlikely. For fuck's sake. Oh wait, they didn't target my other black stars? Deal. Out of here. And just like that, my Ishkanah spider is now bigger than Townraiser Tyrant. Things you love to see. It. We're kind of doing stuff, chat. It's exciting. Can I draw some lands? There's 28 lands in my deck. Thanks. I know I just said there wasn't a limited format, but let's draft really quick. Is next turn gonna be a Meathook for 4 angle? Because if we Meathook for 4, we get to get a bunch of counters on Lolth, who then makes 2 5/5 spiders? That sounds kind of like guess. Yeah, this is a consistent Meathook, right? Aren't they all concession Meathooks, chat? Aren't they all? Bye, friends. Do 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 do. I know they have Town Razor, but they also have a lot of non-Town Razor threats. I'm gonna cut these accelerants and board in. 2 word kills on the draw. Marzante, thanks for the 15 months. I wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you. Thanks for keeping me around. Ewok, did I miss your 31 a few minutes ago? If I did, I'm sorry. If I didn't, thanks again. See, it's fine, right? It's got a Vanishing Verse for their first threat, hoping they don't have multicolored one. Then we've got Innkeeper to get us to Lolth ahead of time, and then it gains life with the spiders. We'll go tapped land for white on 1 scry. Whoa! No turn 2 play. Huge. Huge. I'll play Ishkanah to hold down the fort here. Got a thick booty. You could argue she makes the rockin' world go round, chat. Bye, friends. For people talking about spoilers, you are welcome to link them in chat, by the way. I'm not going to pull them up and review them on stream. I prefer to do that after the fact, but links are enabled. Act like an adult, you'll be treated like an adult. Act like a child, you'll be put in a timeout like a child.
In exchange for loyalty.
Oh no! They burned my spider mama to the ground, chat.
And I, the generous one.
It's okay, we can just call Lolth mommy for a little while, okay, chat? Lolth loves us, she'll be our mommy. Are you my mommy?
We will slay our enemies.
Are we making spider friends or are we attacking? This is gonna let them flip to the night cycle. There's a good chance I just don't draw anything and it goes to the night cycle anyway, so I'm just gonna put pressure into play. Under pressure. Bum 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 ba da dum bum. Hey, congrats, Seth. It's always happy when you get to leave a job on your own terms and go on to better things. I have 2 removal spells, so hopefully if they have any big scaries here, we can just kill them. Oblivion!
It's bold to bargain with me.
I don't think we're playing around any hasty creatures here. Let's just get in here across the finish line. 100% of the matches I have played in the last hour, the first hour of Alchemy changes I've played in, combat decisions have felt meaningful and interesting. And I'm a simple man, chat. That's all I really want out of my card games. I just want there to be meaningful and interesting combat decisions.
My children will
Have we run into control yet? I just said we've had meaningful and interesting combat decisions. Come on now.
subservience will be rewarded.
Will be rewarded. Alchemy turned into something very similar to Standard. Go look at the cards that they nerfed the card. There are a bunch of Divide by Zero Hullbreaker horror decks that just like took over the game and don't give a shit about playing to the board. And then past those, there was a lot of like Meathook Massacre decks. I really am a simple man, chat. I just want a majority of my games to involve attacking and blocking. I think the combat system in Magic is the most interesting and complicated part, and the games that seek to not utilize it tend to be very dry and uninteresting, in my opinion. This does look like a control deck. I'll lead on Skullport here. me. Okay. Thanks for playing Key. I'm gonna cast my Planeswalker now if that's okay. Now, noteworthy that the absence of color is not monocolored, so you cannot Vanishing Verse Key to the Archive. I think in a pre-fire design world, control versus control was some of the most interesting and fun Magic you could play. I think in the era of Dovin's vetoes and Hullbreaker horrors that we now live in, control versus control is some of the most mind-numbing, uninteresting Magic you can play. It's really rancid.
Go, my children.
I think we do this and get our attacks in here and draw some cards. There's another Key to the Archive. Remember, all these cards are purple text currently because they did discover the formula, making all of them perpetually one less to cast. That purple name means that the card's been perpetually modified.
For a complex plan, let's improvise.
Pseudo Panda, thanks for the 27 months. Welcome back. Am I on tap with this Lolth? Wait, right?
I am merely delayed, not defeated.
I think I'm supposed to fire up Hive of the Eye Tyrant here, so a single removal spell doesn't stop me from killing Teferi.
Of time.
Okay. We're a little bit ahead on board. Opponents ahead on mana, but we're also up on cards in hand. Discover the formula is really scary. This card is still super powerful. It was very good in the previous format, and it's still very good now. Yeah, I agree. I think Discover could have been a card on the list of potential changes. I think I just Wedding Announcement here to get this working up towards popping off. I'm leading on Wedding Announcement because I'd rather this get Jawari Disruption than this. This taps for 2 mana. Got me. Soul Shatter makes us feel really rewarded for not playing either of these this turn. One of the extra scary things about Discover is that it guarantees to draw spells. I'm not even sure that Key to the Archive is good enough for Alchemy. or Standard, much less a faster format like Historic. A 4-mana card that doesn't impact the board the turn you play it is kind of a tough sell in Constructed. I think Discover the Formula should probably only reduce the cost of the cards that it draws, as opposed to everything in your hand. I'm attacking with Hive of the Eye Tyrant this turn because it exiles the Deluge from their bin. So, doesn't feel great, but we're nipping at their card advantage by doing this. Red Rover, let Storm Giants come over. This is Ward 3? Yeah. Yes, the cost is reduced in perpetuity. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think that would be fine too. If Discover the Formula here, I think I gotta gain 7. If Discover the Formula also just drew instead of seeked, that'd probably be fine if it reduced everything, but doing both those things seems like a little much. So I have 8 total mana. This might just be a Ishkanah double draft angle. You want to prioritize exiling your non-creatures first, because it's actually one of the draft cards that cares about exiling creatures. I'm gonna spend my treasure to draft again. So I know this game that we're currently playing has felt kind of bad, but it's actually really important to acknowledge the spot that my opponent is in. Like, they have a ton of mana, but none of the stuff in their play here generates card advantage. And like, they're actually just on Hall of the Storm Giants, right? They're like on this in the top of their deck. Is all they have going on. Oh, Unite was really good. I like Lane Zero a lot, and then we also played some Sylveon. Oh, we're gonna play Adventures as the deck after this one. I'm gonna play a 3-mana spell, and then I'm gonna pass holding up Vanishing Verse. Only has Ward 3, right? Okay, and just like that, they're super far behind, right? This is actually like a really impressive game for our deck, huh? We slug through a lot here. They cast 2 Discover the Formulas? They cast 2 Discovers and a Memory Deluge? That was super satisfying. So we'll cut the Meathooks, and we'll cut the Vanishing Verses, and we'll cut the Rites of Oblivion. We'll keep the rest. Oh, golly, thanks for the 29 months. Welcome back. Yes, Ward is an excellent innovation in Magic keywords. Hexproof is trash, and Ward is A++. I'm gonna keep this on the draw. We have 28 lands. I try Hut. What's going on? I really like Lolth as a card. This kind of design. I cast an unhealthy amount of time casting Obnixilis Reignited when that card was in Standard. Is it Reignited? What was the 5-mana Obnixilis from the last time that card was legal? That card was like my GM for a long time. It was Reignited. Okay. I think I'm gonna Lolth here, because this is their Memory Deluge turn, so I want to save the second Go Blank for after I Memory Deluge. And if they're deluging this turn, they don't want to count. They won't be able to counter this. And if they counter this, they won't be able to deluge. So, little unfortunate that they have this after we've mind rotted them and exiled their graveyard, but it is what it is.
Time to focus. I got a job ghosting for a year, right?
Yeah, hopefully we see base camp get buffed at some point. Thanks for the follow, Toasty. Good morning. Good afternoon. It's afternoon now in the cornfields. Extra lands here is a great draw. We still got some time to go, but this game feels like it's sliding into garbage time for us. We get to start drafting with Ishkanah, and Ishkanah comes back. Oh, she's ready to ult too, right? Rats. None of these are particularly good. I guess this has the most attack. This might just be a double wedding announcement angle, huh? It might also be wrong not prioritizing drafting with Ishkanah before she dies, but I guess when she dies, she comes back to my hand, right? So we have time. Oh, we could mutate this into a spider, and then this is a 4/5. Yeah, that's probably the line, right? Oh, and it keeps the token. Well, I didn't have enough mana. I wanted a double spell last turn, chat. So we played 2. The mutate on this is 4. But yeah, the mutate onto the Innkeeper here sounds great. Yeah, the whole stack will come back to my hand with the Kaya counter. And getting Wedding Announcement going towards working towards its 1/1 also has value. Well, alrighty then. And again, like, just look at how much card advantage we've accrued from incidental grinding in this game. It's kind of sick. Game's not over yet. That's a good draw. It means we're gonna get to clean out at least one of these deluges before they play it. Probably both of them, right? Because they need to spend their mana this turn to impact the board. I'd like to draft a friend, please. I don't have a counterspell for this. It's probably game winning. Damn. Oh shoot, I played the wrong land. I guess we'll do this now. We technically still have lethal in play like this. I wanted to play the Recluse out though. I'm not gonna play out a 4th creature into a sweeper here. So just once again, the onus is on them to interact with the board or they're gonna die. Key to the Archive enters tapped, but could fish them a Day of Judgment with its draft. We live in a world where people consider someone being matter of fact and to the point as being aggressive. And what you'll frequently hear people say about me is Jeff thinks he's always right. And what that person is trying to say is, I think I'm right until you explain to me why I'm wrong. Something that really happens quite frequently in social media spaces is people will come in and just be like, well, that's wrong, and provide no justification or reasoning or education. I'm wrong all the time. Just ask my wife. Frequently incorrect. However, I'm not going to just say, okay, I'm going to change my worldview just because you came in here and said it's wrong. If you present me with evidence or information that contradicts my worldview, I always try and take a step back and think about what's different here and should I be changing what I'm doing. But that's not what happens a lot of the time. I wouldn't wish having a social media following upon my worst enemy, chat. If Twitter wasn't important for me to be able to make money at my job, I would have deleted it, just like I deleted Facebook a long time ago. It's actually just exists to make people upset or for people to twist your words and get angry at you. It's a pretty middling experience overall. One of the things that happened recently on Twitter was Saffron Olive said something that was objectively wrong. Like, I presented information that showed it was objectively wrong, and I referred to the objectively wrong information he posted as bullshit, which a lot of people have a very hard time hearing potty words on the internet, chat. So there's always a lot of bad faith people that can't actually interact with or dissect the point that you've made, because the point that you've made is correct. But they'll sit there and be like, oh, Jeff said a swear word. He's really mean, and this is aggressive because he said a swear word. That actually might be what they're referring to, saying I'm aggressive. This isn't your kindergarten classroom anymore, chat. You're allowed to say the potty words. I remember Declan's preschool teacher told me he dropped an F-bomb once, and my first question to her was, did he use it contextually correct? To which she told me yes. And then I said, okay, I'll explain to him that he can't say that at school. And we actually haven't had an issue with it again since. I'm sure we will at some point, but like, I genuinely think the fuss that we make over curse words is very nonsensical and unreasonable. They're just words, chat. Especially when they're said generically as expletives. Because words can have impact and cause people emotional grief. But like, if you're not swearing at someone, it's fine. You're just like, fuck, I stubbed my toe, I tripped, I dropped something. Like, those types of things are perfectly reasonable interactions to have. All right, because they attacked with this, I'm gonna go ahead and fire up my Hive and we can kill this queen at least. Correct. Slurs are a type of words you should not be using, but just generic expletives are pretty whatever, in my opinion.
At least there is blood on your hands.
Sorry, I was getting a little warm in the basement, chat, so I had to take my hoodie off. If you want the camera to stay on while the hoodie comes off, make sure you tier 3 sub and pop on into the tier 3 subs channel in the Discord server. I guess we are just playing this and firing this up and attacking. Although we're kind of... No, we're actually not losing this race, right? Because they put us to 7, we put them to 2, they put us to 2, we kill them. Mineral Slider, thanks for the 13 months of Prime. Welcome back, I appreciate it. Alright, if we can find a 2-mana removal spell, we're still winning this race. That is not a 2-mana removal spell. Okay, if I play the untapped land here, we can fire up the Hive to double block a Menace Spider and then Mauling the Flyer. So we're a little flooded, but we're holding on here. That's a good way to put it. Saying oh fuck is okay, saying fuck you is not. Yeah, it's a good context. Context is key.
Envy the strong, for I will cull the weak.
Cull the weak. All right, they found a wedding announcement. We found a Lolth. They're gonna attack our Lolth, I assume. You gotta kill my Planeswalker here, right? What is this attack? I'm very confused. I feel like their Menace Spider should have gone into my Planeswalker here.
My hatred lives.
I'm gonna put 2 bodies into play here instead of 1. My life total's kinda low and I don't want to get juked out of this game. You certainly won't understand Magic Twitter to understand context. Nah, it's true. It's definitely not their strong suit. Okay.
Darkness will a gift in exchange for
We have a game. We have a game, as they say.
Come, I'll tell you a secret.
I definitely just want another blocker here. They have more life than me, which makes their Lolth a little bit more dangerous. They also have a bunch of menace. Am I dead, actually? Are we dead on board? I block 3, I block 2, I die? Yeah, I'm dead if they just attack all, right? That's unfortunate.
My words are for ambitious minds.
Let's see, they have to count that. Yeah. They took pretty conservative attacks earlier, and their attack with all is really bad if I have a Vanishing Verse. So why Edgar? This is probably going to be our last match with this deck, and I definitely think my conclusion at the moment is we need to cut Edgar. It's trash. It's actually been really bad in all of the games that we played. I'm gonna cut it in the post-board game here. It has not felt particularly impactful. This is a viewer submission, like a lot of the decks that we play here. We've been making some changes. I wanted to try and give this card a chance, but it's just not been particularly good.
I will get
Meathook sounds good. Extra Rite of Oblivion sounds good. Stance doesn't really kill most of their stuff, right? I guess they killed Amaria's Calls Angels, but that's it. Enfeeblement might be okay. It kills the spider token, kills their 2/3. Maybe a power word kills fine. I don't really like go blanks in these matchups because the hands get empty. I mean, we're gonna find out, Leland. It's gonna be the second deck we play today. We're gonna finish this matchup and then we're gonna shift gears to playing some Abzan adventures. It's an Abzan kind of afternoon. Lil Abzan in the afternoon. A card has been released with the typing Legendary Artifact Creature Equipment Jellyfish. Did some Simic make it onto Kamigawa? Yeah, our third deck today is going to be a standard deck. I think it's looking like standard's going to be interesting and diverse enough from Alchemy that we're going to give it a try. And ideally, both Standard and Alchemy are good and worth playing, and we'll just like have two formats that offer different decks to play for different reasons. Would be excellent. So that 24 months been maxed. Welcome back. So if you're a subscriber especially, and you have Standard or Alchemy deck ideas that are off the beaten path and you think interesting, be sure to post them in the Rotating Formats channel on the subs Discord, formerly Alchemy. Since we kind of care about Standard again. I'm be looking for new deck lists to try out as we move forward in both formats. We're going to do 3 decks today and 3 decks tomorrow, and then next week we'll be back to doing 2 Magic decks a day. Alright, keep this. Draw green source is pretty good. And if we draw non-green lands we like, still play a game. Yeah, we might do a little bit of historic here and there, but I think current historic is pretty whatever. It's like a 4 or 5 out of 10 for me personally. It's a lot of control and linear aggro. I'm gonna Skullport here to start, because I could have Deadly Dispute. I don't want to, like, Wedding Announcement and then lose my token to the gas trigger. Yeah, me too. Would really love some party cards. Do I keep this? It lets me go Innkeeper into Wedding Announcement without sacking my treasure next turn, and the treasure from Innkeeper has value sacrificing to Rite of Oblivion. So I think I keep the guaranteed land here. What's going on, Zerg? Don't really need second green ever, right? That sinking feeling. What's going on, Min-Max? Thanks for the 2 years, by the way. I missed that one a couple minutes ago. Well, I think it's probably our turn to clear out their wedding announcement. What's going on, Synth? Thanks for the 17 months. Welcome back. Yeah, no issues from a technical perspective that we've had with this patch so far, Briefheart. Everything seems fine on that end. These sleeves are kind of sweet. I hadn't seen these before. I rank their Foretold card is here. Hopefully it's like a Doomscar. It could be the make 4/4 angels, but I feel like they probably would have done that this last turn, right? This might be a block with 1/1's Vanishing Verse, the wedding festivities. Don't make 3/4/4s. Don't do it. Good chance the board gets swept here. What a nice spider. Are we a little bit ahead? We're a little bit ahead now at this point, right? Like, not by a lot. They have one good draw and they can catch back up, but... Alright. Slow run, take it easy.
I will show you what happens when the spiders scorch.
Yeah, you're always welcome to talk about spoiled cards in my spaces.
Do what I demand.
Menacing Hive.
I return to the abyss.
I think I'm supposed to just pass here. I want to play Ishkanah when we can also draft with it in the same turn. Yeah, Hive is definitely the best of this creature land cycle. It's very strong. I have enough mana to do this, and draft. Glad we waited. Maybe I should have skipped the wedding announcement last turn to, Maybe I should have skipped the wedding announcement last turn to, activate Ishkanah twice. I guess if I exile this, they can Rite of Oblivion me, but that's fine, right? I just don't want them to get a creature back with this. Alright, going to game 3. Going to game 3. Alright, we're going to finish up this match against Black-White. Then we're going to shift gears over to another Abzan deck. Abzan Venture into the Dungeon. Got a number of upgrades. Excited to kick the tires on that one and some Alchemy. Are you gonna try the Venture Land? No, I don't think the Venture Land's playable in the Abzan deck. Maybe in a 2-color build, but I want to start with Abzan. We'll probably try straight Black-White at some point. And maybe that can support a 2-color. Welcome back, Crimple. Thanks for the follow. I often say people don't quit Magic, they just take breaks. What's going on, Silvestro? Thanks for the 14 months. The stream title is nice and accurate for the remainder of today's stream. We're gonna do two more mid-range decks after this. We're gonna try some Venture into the Dungeon up next, and then we are going to I want both of these to be black, right? So we'll lead on this so we can go untap Black Innkeeper on 2. Then we're gonna play some Standard as the third deck of the day. Based on Twitter and YouTube polls, there appears to be a passing interest in at least peaking at Standard. We just play this tapped and scribe. In a matchup like this, we really want Ishkanah to be able to generate value, so we don't want to play her out until we can, like, play her, have 2 cards to exile, and draft something right away. Ishkanah's a super playable Magic card. For sure.
You require my aid. Traitors.
Traitors!
I will cull the weak.
And the fact that they exiled her means that we don't need to block these Shambling Gas. I guess I could sacrifice them to kill my friends. If their last card's a blank, we're in a pretty incredible spot. Thanks for the follow, Ginner. Good morning. Yeah, no blocks. Alright, I know what I said about generating value, but playing this out gives us really good attacks this turn, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do it and take it. So no joke, Big Kitty fan, I think the actual single most important card about the blue decks was Divide by Zero. That card generated an incredible amount of tempo. You want a potentially hot take, chat? I think there's a chance that with Divide by Zero only being nerfed in Alchemy, that there's a world where Standard ends up being better than Alchemy due to the lack of the Snowland and the lack of Divide by Zero. It's for the 43 months tantrum. I'm gonna go ahead and just hook it up here. It'll be interesting though. Regardless of how things end up, it'll be an interesting puzzle to figure out. Me too. And the beautiful thing is, if Divide by Zero ends up still being obnoxious and problematic in Alchemy, they could do another balance pass on it, right? Like that's the real beauty of live balance design, is it's never one and done. You get to like tweak and tune the details to work out how you want them to work out. Just keep iterating, just keep iterating. I really wish we knew when the balance changes were coming in March, because I need to schedule a March open and I'm not sure what weekend I want to do it yet. I feel like I'm going to get unlucky and like it's going to end up being like the weekend after I schedule. Come on, Rite of Oblivion. Come on, Rite of Oblivion. Edgar's pretty annoying. This might be a power word kill Edgar angle. Man, I tried to play some Runeterra yesterday off stream, and I queued into the elusive Poros deck 2 matches in a row. I just like closed the application and went and played something else. I was thinking about playing in their last chance qualifier for seasonals on Saturday, but I'm pretty over it. My desire to try and practice was deleted. I think this is a let call resolve angle power word kill an angel. Oh my god. You can't power word kill angels, chat. Mistakes have been made. Oh, and this is tapped because of the authority of the councils they drafted. Brutal. Savage. Wrecked. Their draft card is gonna kill us, chat. Okay, so now we're gonna power word kill the Edgar, and then we'll draft with Ishkanah. Yeah, the elusive Poros deck is the second most played Runeterra deck right now, according to Mobalytics, and it's the second most played Runeterra deck according to Mobalytics, has like a 54 or 55% win rate, so pretty decent there as well. It is kind of funny that word kill hits gods and demigods and not angels. I agree. The untap a creature, give it 2/4 and reach would actually be kind of a low-key decent draft. I don't believe they've explicitly said anything about alchemy cards in Cube, but I have to assume that that's gonna be a thing. Seems like they'd be silly not to. Did the most recent Cube have alchemy cards in it? Yeah, you're right, it did, right? The updated Aspirant wasn't there. Yes, yeah, the fact that Ishkanah's drafted cards go to the bin to be exiled to drafted again is good. Come on, opponent. I believe we have died, fam. So unfortunate. Our last card is just Vanishing Verse. I guess we attack with these two. We play the Mammoth Spider. We hope to draw a removal spell off the top with the wedding announcement draw. That's Spider can kill an angel. It's tapped, chat. It's tapped. Go set. Little unfortunate with their drafts. Our drafts were kind of mediocre. They drafted more bombs than we did, chat. There's nothing you can do about it. We definitely put ourselves at a disadvantage going into that match by the fact that we had Edgar in our deck. I guess they also had Edgar, so maybe it's a wash, but Edgar was aggressively middling that entire set. Let's pull this up and talk about what we liked and didn't like before we move along to some Abzan venture. So Edgar was pretty stinky. Ishkanah specifically felt really good pretty consistently in all of those matches. The mid-range games where we got to generate value with it generated a lot of meaningful spiders. The synergy with curving into Lolth was fantastic. The 3/5 body in the aggressive matchups like werewolves felt very reasonable. So I think the core of this seems like something you could poke at some more. Add an Egon instead. It's like the 6/6 to exile things from your bin, right? It sounds really awful. I don't want to compete with Ishkanah for cards. I think like playing a Kaya in the main deck is probably fine. And then like you could just like round out the last Skullport Merchant probably. Seems like a reasonable thing to be doing. And then add your favorite Abzan colored card to the sideboard. Maybe a second Kaya could be good there. Maybe a Renin 7, something like that. The Egon Enchantment fills your graveyard card. All right, I'm going to give you the best piece of deck building advice you are ever going to get anywhere. Don't put shit cards in your deck to make your good cards better. Ishkanah is an individually powerful card that doesn't need help to maximize its text box. Same with Lolth, like individually powerful card. The fact that these two cards work well together is like a happy accident. But they're both good. And putting more good cards in your deck will result in you winning more matches. Deadly Dispute. I don't think we have quite enough creatures for Deadly Dispute. Rite of Oblivion kind of gets a pass because it can sacrifice non-creatures. So it can like sacrifice your wedding announcements and Meathook Massacres and stuff.